Drawing 6-3, we're going to add some curves and some circles into our isometric drawing. This is an L bracket. We've actually done the multi-view drawing of this assignment, but now we're going to be creating the isometric view of this assignment. A little bit tougher because there are some curves involved and we're missing a view. But if you recall, this looks like an L bracket. The L bracket has a rounded top on it and a rounded bottom to it. The thickness of our material is 1/2 inch. It says that the thickness here and here are 0.5 inches thick. The total length, they call it the total width. So the total length here is 5 inches. The depth, which I would call the width, is 2 inches, meaning this outside arc here is a diameter of 2 inches. It says that the entire height is 2.25 inches. And there are some 1-inch diameter holes that are drilled in the bottom and on the top. So when we take this information and change or put it into our isometric view, in AutoCAD, we'll just have to remember that it's going to look like an L bracket with a rounded top and with a rounded bottom. So we're working on drawing 12-3, so make sure that you change your drawing number to 12-3. Also remember to change your snap settings to our isometric snap. And we're going to turn our mouse using the F5 function key to the top plane, because we're going to start with the circle on top of the bottom portion of it. And if you recall, it's a 2-inch diameter. And to draw circles in isometrics, we actually don't use circles. We use an ellipse. So I'm going to go axis end. And I'm going to create an iso circle, an isometric circle. So I need to make sure I click on that. And it's a diameter of 2 inches. So I'm going to make sure I click on diameter down here so I can put in a proper measurement. 2, enter. And let's see, if we recall, the entire length was 5 inches. And we said from the center of this going back is going to be 4 inches. But because there's a thickness of our back that's 1/2 inch, we're going to subtract even more. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to go from the center of this back this direction 3.5 inches. And I'm going to draw out some reference lines straight out this way and straight out this way, because where that intersection is, I want to go back 3.5 inches here and from this intersection also. And I'm actually going to connect those. This is going to be the front edge of our back portion of the L bracket. And so what I'm going to do is my center point, I'm going to take straight up so that I have a center point for this top section. Now, the entire height of this thing is 2.25, and I'm using a 2-inch diameter. And the thickness is 0.5, so if I take 2.25 minus the 1 inch for the radius, that would be 1.25 minus the thickness of the material, that's 0.75. So actually what I'm going to do is from the end point of this line, I'm going to go straight up 0.75, and that's going to be the center of my arc going this way. So I'm going to draw, using that center point, another isometric circle. Axis end, isometric circle from the end point here with a diameter of 2. And I'm going to draw a reference line straight out this direction in both directions like this. And from this intersection here, I should be able to drop a line straight down and have it connect with my corner. Now I don't need the bottom half of this, and I don't need the inside half of this, So I'm just going to trim those off right now just so I don't get them confused with anything else. And I guess I really don't need these either. I can delete these out. I'm going to keep my center points just because I still have a hole to drill in here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take this arc and I'm going to copy it. If I hit F5, I'm going to copy it back this direction, the thickness of my material. And the thickness is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go copy this, enter, grab it right at the midpoint, pull it this direction, and type in 0.5, enter, and then enter again. And I should be able to draw from my quadrant point to quadrant point this top edge. And if you don't have quadrant turned on, make sure that you turn on quadrant in your OSNAP settings. And I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And I'm going to go from here straight down. And I'm going to trim off that inside piece here that I don't need, this and this. Nice. Notice I drew this way too long, but that's okay. I'm going to trim it off here in a minute anyways. And I'm going to do the same thing for this arc. I'm going to copy this, enter, grab it at its middle, point it down, type 0.5, enter, enter again, and then I'm going to draw in a line from quadrant point to quadrant point there. And I'm going to trim this piece as well. Good. Now I should be able to just draw a line from the end point of this arc straight back and then trim these pieces off. And there's the general shape of my piece. I just need to drill my 2 holes now using the same center points. So let me get my ellipse, axis end, ISO circle, F5, start it here. This one is a diameter, so I click on diameter of 1. And I'm going to do the same thing. ISO circle, F5, whoops, ISO circle, start it at the center point. It's a diameter of 1. Now I think I may be able to see the inside edge of my arc here and here. So let's check this out. If I copy this circle, starting at the center point, and drop it down equal to the thickness of my material, which is 0.5, yep, I'm going to see the inside edge. So I need to trim this, this, and this. And I'm going to do the same thing back here. I'm going to go copy this, F5, so I can go in the right direction. From here, back this direction, 0.5, and then trim this, this, and this. I can get rid of my 2 center points. And there's my finished product of drawing 12-3. Hopefully that was helpful.